Welcome back to another cool tool show and tell. Today my special guest is Ian Charnas. Ian is a maker, an engineer, a makerspace founder, and a YouTuber who makes hysterical inventions and then raffles them off for good causes. Ian, thanks for joining us today. And what did you bring to show us?
Today I brought the coolest shop trick that I've ever seen. I love shop tricks. I love seeing people cold bending polycarbonate, drilling square holes, or doing other kind of cool shop tricks. But this one beats every other shop trick hands down. I've never seen, I would even go so far as to not call this a shop trick, but a shop illusion. And today we're going to be making a screwdriver levitate.
All right, I don't believe it, but I believe in you, Ian, and I'm excited. What's involved in this trick?
Yeah, why don't I'll describe what I'm doing as I'm doing it, okay. and hopefully with enough detail that you can replicate this in your own shop.
I want to blow minds. Let's do it.
Well, speaking of blow minds, you're going to need compressed air. So if you have a compressed air gun like this one here that has a safety tip, first of all, good for you, because you're preventing a particular kind of danger that can happen where you get an overpressure and chips blow back into your face or eyes. So good for you. But for the purposes of this illusion, you have to remove that little safety tip. If you've never taken this off before, it might take a little bit more force. We take ours on and off appropriately for the job. And you're left with an air gun without the safety tip on it.
Okay.
You want to make sure that the regulator is set pretty much as high as it goes. I think mine's set to 100 or 120 PSI right now. You really want a lot of high pressure air flowing through this.
All right, follow you so far.
You're also going to need, this shouldn't surprise you, we're levitating a screwdriver, so you need a screwdriver. And you want to find a screwdriver that's really has a round cross-section to it. This is about around a cross-section screwdriver as I could find. Let's see if we can get that close. Pretty round. So if you have a screwdriver that's square or it's more octagonal, is this octagonal or is this hexagonal? I think this is hexagonal.
Yeah.
I'll go back to my shapes. This is not going to work. You really need to find one that has a more rounded shape to it. If you do more electronics work, you might have a solder sucker like this. These are perfect. These are perfectly cylindrical, and that's going to work even better. So now you've got your supplies. You're ready to start levitating. You're going to take your screwdriver and just lightly hold it with your fingertips. And then you're going to direct the stream of air. Let's see if I can do this. Not exactly right at the screwdriver, but sort of up and maybe even a little bit away. You have to find the right balance point. And you start blowing the air, and when you feel that at some point you will feel the screwdriver start to lift out of your hand, and you will release, you'll move your hand away, and this will start levitating. It takes a while to figure out just the right balance point, but I've been doing it for a little while, so I might get it pretty quickly. Are you ready to give it a try?
I'm ready.
What do you think? Is this going to work?
I mean, I think you'd be a fool to have signed up for this if it's not going to.
Hopefully it works. Sometimes things don't work when you turn on the camera, but let's give it a try. You like it?
Oh my goodness! That was incredible.
It really works. And it works even better if you have a perfectly circular object here. You do want to find the heavier part and try to keep it pointed down. I'm kind of debating as to what the heavier part is. I suspect it's this part, but let's find out. So as I do this, I'm moving the object and I'm moving the compressed air gun until I feel the air start to pull on the object. And then I'll keep playing around with the orientation until I feel that this is relatively stable. And as I as I release pressure with my fingers, I feel that it's leaving my hand and floating.
I feel
cool,
like
right?
all you need to do is like paint the air gun green or something that you can key out, and then you've got your levitating anything, right? That's great. Yeah.
Can I tell you how I like to use this trick? When it's getting late and you and your project team are trying to decide who's going to go pick up the pizza or the Chinese food or whatever it is that you're eating, and someone has to go and make that run, this is a fun game that you can play to see who can hold this in the air the longest. And either the winner gets to go take a break and take a nice drive or bike ride, or the loser gets to go take a break and take a nice drive or bike ride to go get the food. So it's a fun way of settling shop disputes.
How did you first come across this trick? Who taught it to you, or how did you come to learn about it?
I first saw this trick on one of my favorite YouTube channels. It's called Applied Science. This is a guy that I believe he works for Google's not so secret labs, which used to be called Google X and now I think is just called X. So on Applied Science, you see that this guy's got his own scanning electron microscope. He's doing optics. He's doing electrochemistry. He's doing really, really cool science. And it's for science geeks. Like he is one of the people who made holographic chocolate, where he sort of molded in a silicone mold some diffraction gratings. And then with that mold, that had the pattern of the diffraction gratings in it, he cast chocolate so that you had pure chocolate that looked like a hologram. So incredibly smart. So for the really intellectually curious viewers out there, his channel is infinitely rewarding. And I saw this, he goes into an explanation of the exact aerodynamic effect that allows this to achieve stability. So not just that it would fly momentarily, but that it has stability.
Great. Well, that's a great recommendation for people to check out. And Ian, remind me again where people can find more of your work and what you're doing.
If you want to see more of my work, you can check me out on YouTube, youtube.com/Ian Charnas. I'm also Ian Charnas on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook.
If people haven't seen your YouTube channel before, what should they be checking out?
So I like making silly inventions. You'll see some smarts, I hope. You'll see some funny stuff. And I usually raffle off the invention, and all the raffle proceeds go to a good cause. And so one of my favorite videos on my channel is a video where I modified my car so that the windshield wipers sync to the beat of whatever music I'm listening to. Hopefully the link is below, and you can go check that out.
I think that was actually one of the first videos that introduced me to you, and I love that idea. I think the next step for that one, though, there needs to be like some kind of IoT in-car gadget that syncs up everyone's windshield wipers. Somehow that drives me nuts when I see windshield wipers from multiple cars that aren't in sync. I'm like, why? They're the same motor. They should be able to have the same timing somehow. But no, it's too much for us.
And the turn signals.
Oh yeah, yes, I know. Someday they'll all be synchronized for my own, benefit. All right, Ian, thanks a lot for talking to me. And you can find links to, circular screwdrivers, circular handled screwdrivers down in the description, and more about Ian down in the description too. Okay, thanks again, Ian.
Thanks, Donald.